Hello, I hope you are well. Welcome to another reading of my novels, the channeled messages that are contained in them. Today I'll be doing the reading on this channel for reasons I've explained in the World Predictions video. This is World Predictions. This is channeled messaging through my stories. This is not a promotion of just my books, okay? There are channeled messages in here. I wrote these stories with spirit. I have written nearly 200 books and not all of them are as detailed as this. Okay, I've written a lot of spicy romance. I've had very strange experiences writing those. Some of the things they've shown me for them are pretty detailed. But these ones have deep messages in. There's a lot about the divine feminine, divine masculine, which they have been showing me for a very long time. So I'm going to read a little bit more of Knight of Swords. Now, you can read this one in its entirety if you go onto my Inkit page at the moment. You can read a couple of chapters for free, but you can also read the whole thing. There is a page on Patreon as well if you're interested in that. Eventually they're going to be on one of my websites, and it's all going to be very, very different. Things are changing with my books again. So I would check it out on there, okay? On Inkit in particular at the minute, or the Patreon. And I'm going to read you a little bit from the book that is linked to it. This is all linked to The Hidden Child, the first one I did. It's all linked, it's all together. So please check them out. We're really grateful if you could even just watch this video, like, share and subscribe. Put it out there and support me as an author, okay? And if you ever want any help with writing or channeling messages from spirit through writing, then I can help you with that too. Details are in the description. Please stick around for the readings. I will do a reading on this one, and I'll read you the Londinium one, just a section from that. They're all connected. They're all, as I say, on Inkit. Right, okay, so Knight of Swords. I stared at the two men coming up the stairs towards us, frantically wondering at our best option. A backward glance at Edward confirmed there was no clear avenue of escape. Edward closed in behind us and grabbed my shoulder. I struggled to hold on to a collapsing Juliet. She gave a cry of fear, shouting, "He's coming, God help us, he is coming." A piercing shriek echoed around the large hallway and staircase, diverting my attention upwards. A coin craven circled the room and flew straight at our group on the stairs. As it did so, a large, heavy black mass engulfed the air. We all froze. We stood motionless, watching above our heads with a mixture of curiosity and terror. Juliet tugged on my hand, but I remained transfixed. The black cloud began to form and shape behind the raven. The bird completed a circle of the room and suddenly dived towards us. The mass began to separate. Out of its being spurted 100 or more additional ravens. This reminds me of one of the messages we got about bats and swarms. I felt Julia again tug hard on my hand. She shouted to me, "Don't look at them. Whatever you do, don't look at them." Her voice was high-pitched, desperate for my safety, but I was hypnotized by the strange sight, as seemed everyone else around me. The birds raced towards us, diving at our faces. The two stable grooms each put a hand up to protect their faces as the dark forms swooped low to peck and claw at their eyes. Chaos and screaming ensued. I shoved Edward backwards and put up my arm to shield myself. One of the birds clawed viciously at my hand, drawing in a flurry of blood that soaked my sleeve. The young man holding the pitchfork suddenly tumbled backwards down the staircase as a nest of ravens covered him like flies, pecking at his eyes and skin until they were bloodied and shredded. His piercing screams of terror echoed around the hall, chilling my very bones. Juliet pulled on my arm once more. This time she succeeded in distracting me from the mesmerizing sight. We hurried past Edward and the other groom. They were vainly attempting to swat away the birds, crying with agony as the flesh was torn from their hands and faces. The ravens had not touched Juliet. Even their attack upon me had been limited in its ferociousness. We hurried on, passing the wailing housekeeper. A shout from William at the top of the stairs made me glance back just before we slipped through the door and out of the house. Freed from my hold by my distraction through the pandemonium on the stairs, William battled at the birds with his horsewhip. He was full of rage and thunder and bellowed at us, "Valancourt, I will hunt you both down and kill her if she doesn't give me my inheritance." I stared at his struggling figure and fought hard to maintain my composure. Every fibre inside me ached to race back up the stairs to make him swallow his words. There was no way I would allow him to take Juliet from me, even if it meant ending his life. We ran out of the portico onto the gravel. I was suddenly conscious that Juliet looked fit to collapse. I glanced around, expecting to be followed, but no one was behind us. The carriage was nowhere to be seen, and I confess I had begun to wonder if he were not stranded. But thankfully Juliet appeared to have other ideas. "We can use William's horse. It will be saddled and ready. He always rides at this time of day," she breathed. I nodded and we ran to the stables. Sure enough, a groom was just finishing saddling William's horse, anticipating his master's arrival. I grabbed the reins from him and pushed him out of the way, quickly mounting the horse. Reaching down, I lifted Juliet up into my arms, ignoring the protestations of the bewildered groom who sought to retrieve the reins from me. Juliet held on for dear life as I broke the horse out onto a gallop. We left the stable yard in a hurry, scattering the chickens and ducks that dared to cross our path. The horse's hooves clattered noisily on the cobbled yard, announcing our hasty departure as I guided the horse out onto the drive. The Camerons were now finally spilling out of the house. I knew it would be only moments before William had another horse and was close on our trail. I glanced back and saw the ravens escaping from the portico door as though mimicking a colony of bats. They rose into the sky, swirling away from the house, and disappeared into the distance with a shriek. I had little time to contemplate the scene I had witnessed with the birds, or the words of warning Juliet had uttered in my ear as they approached on the stairs. Had she summoned them? Was she indeed a witch? Was I? There was no time. I decided that I would debate the answers to those questions when we were safely back in London, out of William Cameron's reach. Okay, let's go on to the next chapter, which is chapter 7. Trying to get this to move. It has a different, excuse me, my cold's still bad. It has a different title on NK. It's called Vampire Night. It's the first book. Okay. We reached the woodland as the first few snowflakes permeated the grey cloud above us. I slowed the horse to a trot, satisfied we were at a sufficiently safe distance from the house and any pursuers. I looked down at Juliet. She had not spoken since our flight. I felt her begin to shiver as the cold snow settled on our skin and dampness began to seep through our clothes. I tightened my arm around her waist and pulled her nearer, closing the gap she had stiffly maintained. She wore only her dress and no coat. The attempt to keep her warm was futile, but I would be dishonest if I did not admit that I also wanted to feel her close. Ever since our shared vision the previous night, I could only think of her. I'm not going into that, it's YouTube. I expected an objection when I pulled her closer, but there was none. Instead, she wrapped her arms around herself in an effort to keep out the flurry of snow and the harsh wind that was picking up and licking at our faces. She asked, "Does William follow us?" I glanced back once more to make sure. There was no one there, but I could hear angry shouts far away. They were on our trail. "Yes, but he is far behind. I hope to reach the village and raise the alarm with the constabulary before he catches up to us." I gently moved my heel against the horse's side, bidding him to go faster once more. "We must talk about the night of the séance, Juliet," I told her. "How—" She interrupted quickly with a sharp, confused tone. "I don't know how it happened. Was it really what he said? Maybe we are witches. Maybe we are. Do you really believe that? I thought about it for a moment. I'm not sure what we are, but we are certainly special. I began to wonder, questions forming in my mind in quick succession. What was I? What hadn't my parents told me of my heritage? What had Lord Legate known? Did you summon those birds? I asked her. Juliet sat up away from me, her body suddenly taut with indignation. I looked at her curiously. I did not. I would never do such a vile thing. That was him. The vampire. He has been trying to locate me. I have kept up my guard, but I have grown weak and ill in the last 2 weeks. I am afraid my guard must have fallen at times. He wants me free so he can take me. I will not let that happen, and I will not let him hurt you, she smiled. There have been several other deaths in London. I knew each victim, and I was forced to witness each of their murders in similar nightmare visions. Now, in the world predictions, we had about a murder as well. Juliet shuddered and hugged herself, rubbing her arms. He wants to punish us and make me feel responsible for all of those deaths until it drives me mad, and I cannot defend you. That picture is tapping. Somebody's tapping the picture as I read this. He is taking his anger for being unable to possess you out on the world. And in his eyes, the women I have betrayed you with by not realizing this connection he talked of. I have thought about this at great length. I am worried for all of the others. I was going to continue voicing my suspicions that the vampire also killed to punish Juliet for rejecting him, but I did not want my charge to suffer any more pain. She turned in the saddle to look at me with disapproval. All of the others? I know of your scandalous reputation, but you look no more than 22. For your young years, it seems you have known, for want of better words, a lot of women willing to submit their virtue to your wicked charms for a night in your bed. I couldn't help but laugh at her sense of impropriety. Then seriousness overtook me once more. Maybe, but I'm worried more so for you than any other. The clergyman vampire claims to love you, and yet you don't know him. Her voice sounded far away. No, I don't. I have never made his acquaintance until that night. This is also very strange. Are you really to be my guardian? My voice was grave. There he is again. Yes, I am. I am afraid Lord Legate is dying. He has passed the honour to me. I'm sorry, Lord Legate seems such a nice man. She shuddered and pressed her face against me. I am not sure I will be able to escape this vampire. Why don't we change the subject slightly, I ventured. I'm skipping through some bits. Sorry. When did you notice you were different to others around you? For myself, I did not know until the seance. 9 months ago. I remember the very first day I found I could read people's minds. My uncle and I were taking tea outside. It was an unseasonably warm day for April. It was one of the last times we were to take tea by the lake at Eldridge. He became too ill after that. The smile on her lips faded, but her tone became excited. William came out of the house wanting to speak to his father about his will. He was so angry. I began to hear a multitude of voices. One of them was William's. Yet the words he spoke did not match the ones I heard. Vile creature. My uncle's valet was attending us, and though he did not speak, I heard his voice. He was disgusted at William's abruptness and lack of respect towards my ill uncle. He would have felt more than disgust if he had heard the way William wished for his father's speedy death inside his mind. That was when I learned my uncle was dying. I was heartbroken. He loved me more than his own selfish children. I shall never forget it. She stared out ahead, seemingly lost, remembering for a brief moment. I remained respectfully quiet. Then she turned to me, a smile fully waning on her lips. It's fascinating to delve into the secrets of others. I should feel guilty, but I don't. I can't help feeling intrigued. Some of the things I hear are nothing short of wicked. She gave a small giggle. But it's also very tiring after a while. Sometimes it's just too noisy to hear my own thoughts. My head aches so much when that happens. I think I will go quite mad. What about you? I haven't really tried to listen into anyone, but you, I can't wait to try it on another. I was interrupted by the sighting of two men on horseback approaching us from the front. Concerned that they were men from the Cameron household, I decided to change our direction. But as I turned left, two other men appeared, and I advanced towards the right, produced the same result. Three more closed in from behind. Juliet gave me a frantic look. These men don't work for William, she said quickly. What do they want with us? The riders closed in, circling around us. My heart began to pound as my horse began to buck in protest at the close proximity of the villains. A handsome, fair-headed man of around a similar age to myself rode up alongside us. His features bore classic aristocratic detail, and his tall, upright posture was consistent with a military career. I tightened my grip around Juliet. The snow was falling heavily now, and she was shivering violently. She looked pale and feverish as she rested her head against my chest. I desperately needed to get her warm. I had no time for the antics of this man and the others accompanying him. I think I'm going to leave it there because this man is really significant to the story. And I want to do a reading. Did you hear the tap? Let's just say in both a good and a bad way. And I want to find out why all this tapping was going on. I will read Londinium, which is a future story. It's connected to all of this. The first one was in the Victorian period, 1893. This one is in the, I think, 26th century, something like that. Could be more, could be, I don't know, it's further along. I haven't got looked at this one for a while. This Londinium, I'm going to tell you, it was a finalist in something. Not a finalist, a semi-finalist, but I shall tell you in a moment. Let's do the reading. Let's see. Let's go to the vampire cards. Right, I want to know why there was tapping going on, and anything you can tell us about the ravens, please. I want that one. Okay. Past life stuff, I know that. You can find out more on Spooked Out, but they told me once. Queen 3 times, murdered 4 times. And nothing in this life, so I've been them all. Okay, there is some sort of alien heritage and the angelic heritage, but I don't want to talk about that because I ain't anything in this life, so, you know. But if you're interested in interested in anything like this, check out the Spooked Out channel. It explains a lot. I'm not going to go into it, but there you go. Oh, daughter of scepters. So that is daughter of, that's wands, isn't it? That's princess of wands kind of thing, page of wands, whatever. So it's messaging. So what are the bats though? So royal messenger. Now the story is about, she is the queen. The woman in the story is about queen, but it's the bats, not bat. Now we talked about that in some world channel messages, predictions a while back about some coming through a portal. Now, a message, a warning message is contained within the novel. Okay, there's the tap. The Empress is the messenger, and she becomes Empress of Swords, basically. Queen of Swords, Empress of Swords. She's uniting a lot of clans, a lot of people. I still think it's to do with this is a message I'm getting to do with DNA, blood. That's why they talk about vampires. The background to the Knight of Swords, sorry, I can't get my words out, Swords story, is that they were ancient Britons who had a lot of gifts, powers, men and women that were ruled by a queen. So I don't know if you know anything about Celtic and Druid things that may be relevant. I don't know. This was what I was given when I had to write in the story. And basically, the queen, she was queen of the swords, that she had to rule. But the druids were jealous of the powers that they had, so they couldn't murder them. The men were great warriors, the women had all these powers, and they couldn't kill them, so they cursed them, and they made them into vampires. And that's what I was told. And they ran them out of their lands, the want of their lands. They killed the queen, and they ran them out. So they went and lived around the world amongst humans in clans. So, and then they get reunited. And it's all to do with bloodlines. There's a lot of the alien stuff with bloodlines, DNA. There's a lot with the spiritual stuff, bloodlines. So it's a royal bloodline. And the royal bloodline, I ended up naming the royal bloodline Morrigan. And Briannan, I think, or Brandon, was the male royal line. And Morrigan was where the queens came from. So I don't know. But we've got Empress. And we've got messenger royalty here. So now we've also got 8 of scepters, 8 of wands, which is lots of messages. So the ravens can be seen as messages from all different realms, dimensions, I'm being told. Okay. What is the message, please, in this section? To do with hunting. We have 3 of grails, 3 of cups, celebration, being in a triangle of 3. We keep getting the 3s. What is it about this 3? Now, I know there's a love story there. It correlates to stuff I've been told about my past lives and my stalker spirit. Again, on Spooked Out, if you want to know more about that. So I think I was writing about a bit of that in here, but there's definitely something about 3. 3, transformation, hybrid transformation, because basically these people in the story are blending, in all the stories, they're blending DNA, bloodlines with humans. So this is something about, could be the hybridization, is that the word? I don't know. Or the hybrid, because it's all about hybrids, creating new humans, creating evolution, part of the evolution, to do with bloodlines and hybrids, creating new hybrids that have been born. So upgrading the human race. And that's what the whole thing is about, the blending of humans and the vampire blood. Now I'm looking at something for my PhD that has, oh God, taking another turn and maybe having to go a different way than I planned. It's something called eco-gothic, which is about the environment affecting all of this. So I don't know if there's an element of that in here. Not so much in this story, but the Londinium one definitely, because I'll explain in a moment. But let's see what else we get. Let's not get it too confused. But it's about the monstrous. So it is eco-gothic as well. And about, I don't know. I know there's something there, but I can't. We've got this 3, transformation, celebration. And I mean, look at that. It looks like, you know, a bloodline. It's kind of, okay, yeah, again, now if you remember the world predictions and channel messages, this is the Lover's card. Definitely about new, you know, we talked about the 144,000. I talked about how they were trying to prevent couples getting together who were supposed to bring in their new bloodlines, okay, with new children and the new souls that's supposed to have been coming in. And I talked about how these soul eggs have been stolen, taken to another dimension as well. So there's a lot of that, but that's what it's supposed to be about, getting together. What else? We've got Queen of Grails upside down. Been blocked. A snake. This could be reptilian. This has been blocked. It's basically bringing out the message that we've touched on in other videos. I get 2 more. A victory. There is a victory. They believe it's a victory. They believe they've blocked certain bloodlines coming in. It's been a disaster. Yeah. Judgment. And they're blocking change. This is reptilian. This is interdimensional beings. Trying to get on the path, keep us on the path of destruction. Yeah. Cutting out DNA, I've just heard. Oh, trying to get us to go a path of destruction, but it's cutting out. They've been doing a lot of experiments. That explains a lot, the alien abductions, things like that. But they've been doing a lot of, there's a lot of experimentation going on with blood. New bloodlines are being discovered all the time, but a lot of them have been blocked. Spliced genes, we've got stem cell stuff. There's a lot of messing with blood and finding out information about origins and people through blood, and that is, they've tried to block that. Seven of Knives, stealing. Also stealing, removing traces of who these people are and their effect that they bring. This could be healers, light workers, removing from blood. Okay. Yeah, again, we've got 9 of Grails. Wish fulfilled. Okay, so there's definitely been a blocking of some, all these sounds, a joining, a hybridization, a new, that's been blocked to a certain extent. And they've been trying to correct that for a while. Yeah, because they want this one straight. The Chariot, bringing in new measures to counteract that. Okay, let's have a look at this. 2 from here, and then I'll do a little bit of Londinium, and you can check that out, see what message we get from that. Okay, the Hermit. Right, okay, guidance is now being given. I see medical, I see doctors, I see, you know, like an egg and then putting something in the egg. Ovum. Oh, they've been doing a lot. But it's been like a war on a biological war on either side. It's been like trying to bring the us humans forward, these new lines, upgrading us. And then there's been this backward trajectory trying to keep us stuck by removing, trying to get us to degrade. That's why certain things have been degrading. Biological warfare up there, where dimension wise. Oh, this King of Wands. I just heard you're Ming the Merciless figure. There is somebody trying to do this. A committee of figures. Trying to block the angelics from moving in. Gosh, so I don't know if there's angelic bloodline come in here as well. Yes. everything's had to be put on hold. Oh my God. A new journey, a new way found. I don't know what they were doing with these soul eggs that we talked about ages ago. Please watch that video. I'll try and find it. They were stolen. They were going to create new versions of humans, and they were deliberately going to be carried by souls. I don't know how it works. It's almost like they would carry them before they were born. Bizarre. Well, I know that happens when you're a baby, isn't it? When you're a female, you get the eggs as you're growing in the womb, I think. It's bizarre. It's that kind of thing. But they're special. Then they would, when you're with the right person, you know, let's be twee about it. Oh, love and me together. You know, the magic happens. That kind of thing. I mean, look at that. I just heard petri dish. Oh God. But some of them were stolen, tampered with, mixed in with the humans. So they just keep showing me monkey DNA. It's almost like trying to get us to go back. Oh my God, that's just like, that explains that card that kept coming out in the gruesome ones, the island of Dr. Moreau. So I don't know. They are still bringing them in, but we are on this path of destruction and we've got to stop. So they've had to do it a different way. So there are souls being born, laying the groundwork for it. It's been delayed, stopped, delayed. Two of Wands. Look, these spheres I keep saying. That's what the eggs look like. So, worlds within worlds. Waiting for the right time. Oh, one more, and then I'm going to stop it there. Bizarre. Yeah, big tower's coming with it all. Oh, you can't leave us hanging there. Ooh, growth. Anything else? Fire. You're getting fire, purging, cleansing. Ace of Cups. That's a gift. That's an emotional gift. And Six of Cups, something from the past. Something from the past returning. Slow work. They're trying it again, as I say. Knight of Pentacles. The Moon. You'll never know, won't know when, but it's coming. Ten of Wands. Unless we give ourselves more burdens and get ourselves stuck like that. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Oh, there's Prince of Scepters. Another messenger coming in. No, it's upside down though. Not a good messenger. That's what they want to. They tell me whether they want them upside down or straight. Doesn't matter how they come out now. It's this war. It's all about evolution and trying to upgrade the human race. So, interesting. Right, let's see with Londinium. Now, Londinium, okay, is in the future, centuries later. Basically, the sun has died. It was knocked out by aliens. And it caused a winter like you've never seen on the... which we get a lot about, don't we? Wasn't nuclear, though. The sun died. And basically, the planet, I read up on all about it and was told that basically it would turn into a winter. Everything would freeze. The planet would drop out of orbit and would just start traveling. Now, I've seen it traveling for ages. It showed me a lot of blue light around it. It's making noises. Tapping it. And it's basically in the future, and I've got somebody time traveling from the 1980s, against young adult thing, to there. and she's connected to this person, and it's basically the continuation of Knight of Swords, because these people, to survive, a lot of them die, but they dig underground, and they create a city, and it's Londinium. It's basically London. There are other cities around the world, but they create the layers with alien technology underneath. And what happens again about this DNA, the blood, the DNA mutates in the humans. They become hybrid, but they become different, you know, paranormal. I mean, that's part of the fun of it, you know, vampires, werewolves, zombies, all sorts of things. You've got cyborgs in there. It's a bit cyberpunk. It's speculative fiction. It's steampunky, but I knew it was something to do with Atlantis because I was told, and it's all the layers of the city, but it's underground, and there are 2 layers that you just don't go in. But there's this emperor. Now it's supposed to be the empress. I don't know why. That's what they told me. But the empress was killed because it's the Queen of Swords. It's supposed to go on, okay? But it's the empress, and then you have the Knight of Swords, and he looks after our army, everything, okay? And he's her advisor. That's how they do it. Now, it's very Palladian, because I know Palladians are like that. So whether or not it had something to do with it, I don't know. So all of that is supposed to happen, but he basically murders the empress, this emperor, and steps forward and rules everything. And it's all to do with where you are on the scale with your biology as to where you live in the city. And we've got some back in the Victorian times, poverty, everything on the docks of London. Yeah, and so it goes up layers. I've even got Jack the Ripper in there, everything. And you can travel from one city to another. And I've only written the first book of it. Well, I started writing the second one, then I joined it to the first. It made more sense. But I was going to have, I entered, the vampires are at the top, basically. But I entered it into a competition called the Page Turner Awards. And they had all these judges, and it was to see whether or not it could be made into a movie. And you would get a deal, whatever. And it was really good because they had Paul Michael Glazer, is that how you say it? Yeah, you know, Starsky and Hutch. He was one of the judges, and he read my blinking story, and it was a semi-finalist. Didn't get there, but you know, that's what you expect with writing. It's a hard old journey, but it was recognized. So I'm going to be rewriting it, though, a lot of it, but you can check it out again on Inky. It's actually called, because Inky, there's a lot of romance on there, so I just changed the title to get people to actually read it. There is love in it, but there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cyberpunk stuff in there. There's steampunk, sort of my version of it. Vampires, werewolves, oh god, there's everything in there. Time travel, the works. So what did somebody say it was like? I did have it out. It is on Amazon, actually. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's full of different things. Okay, so Clara has, there's a lot about Archangel Michael in here as well. And Clara has time traveled with her friend. She doesn't realize who she is, but she's connected to the Empress, basically. That's all I'm going to say in some shape or form. It's a bit of a spoiler, but she's ended up in Londinium. It's underground. Now, there's a moon that follows the Earth for some unknown reason, but it shines a blue light. And because they're all paranormal as well, these people have never seen the sun. Okay, they've never seen the sun. And this is the eco-gothic bit. The surface is just Winterland. It's just London's in tatters, and you know, it's apocalyptic. and underneath all these layers. And if you're a vampire, you live in the top ones. Okay, so, and they travel, they have to go down in lifts to get to the, okay. So she's trying to go to, into Londinium. That's all I'm going to say. But she's been stopped. So it talks about blood all the time. So I'm going to go through and then we'll do a little reading. So she's tried to, a vampire lady, Rain, has tried to stop them going out because he's called the Lord Protector of the city. Doesn't want them going out there. Doesn't want people knowing that they're from another time. And he's had to bring them there because they both got bitten by these creatures that went through this blue veil of light, which I have seen on myself. Jesus, lots of confirmation behind. When you've seen me with spirit faces. So it was really weird to see that, and for somebody to point it out, because that had been written in the story. And this was written a few years ago. Night of Swords was written in 2009. So, but I have a load of books there, and they all connect back to the hidden child as well. Okay, so they've got out of this door. They're going to go into Londinium. She's trying to find some missing girls. It's a long story. Check it out. We moved to the sides of the door and remained very still and quiet. A minute later, Rain was opening the door and walking through. Carter quickly caught hold of the door and swung it open. He pulled me through outside and slammed the door behind us, locking it. We stepped inside a gothic red sitting room with plush red velvet seats and a large, wide black marble fireplace. Paintings of ancestors with long hair. He's called Darius in this, the Lord Protector, who is, I believe, is Archangel Michael, with long hair like Darius and strange futuristic landscapes, none of which look familiar, were hung at intervals over the scarlet red patterned walls. Wow, I turned my head looking at it all, taking it all in. It's like Dracula's castle, isn't it? Carter grinned, grabbing my hand to lead me to the door of this room. Rain was shouting after us and unlocking the door with her mind. I could see the key turning in the lock. She's coming, we better get out of here, Carter said, dragging me across the room in the tight Victorian dress I was having trouble learning to walk in. He opened the door for us to leave, but it was pulled hard from his hand and slammed shut. Damn it, we were so close, he muttered. Clara, Carter, where do you think you are both going? Rain reprimanded, standing in the doorway of the bedroom. I told you, I'm going to find the girls and Carter's sister. Whatever you and Darius do to try and stop us, I will not cease trying to find a way out of here. You know I will find them. Why don't you help me? She paused. I can see I'm going to have a lot of trouble with you both. But if we are to go into Londinium, I refuse to be seen with you like that. Clara, your hair and makeup must be attended to, and I must change. Prince Octavius is rumoured to be abroad today, and he insists on attention to a tie of his subjects in his court and the top levels. I smiled at Carter, feeling immense relief. Right, I'm just going to skip a bit, because otherwise you might get... I thought you were a vampire, but you were eating. My thought was outside my stupid mouth before I could stop it, and I was worried it was rude for me to eat first. I'm sorry that was rude. I was just curious. Please forgive me. Don't you need blood instead? Yes, I do need blood, but we can eat as well. In fact, it is necessary. Remember, we are living vampires, she said with a smile. So how do you get the blood? Do you stalk people at night like Dracula? Carter asked, poking his fork in some salmon and bringing it to his mouth. I gave Rain an anxious look, expecting her to be annoyed, but she laughed out loud. No, that kind of behaviour was limited to some of the ancients who turned early in their evolution into vampires centuries ago, or were cursed into being one by druids back then. Now we have donors. We form close bonds and friendships with the blood donor demons. Demons? Wow! What the hell else is here in Londinium? Humans have really evolved. Oh, wow. I forgot. See what I mean? And not in a way I ever thought would happen. It's got to be dangerous living here. No, quite the contrary, I assure you. We are civilized in the upper levels. Only vampires, demons, certain types, and other breeds were allowed to live here. Other more dangerous evolved humans, the criminal classes, and most of the aliens, including some fleeing Onabukans, who the ancients allowed to take refuge in our world and prompted its destruction, are confined to the lower tiers of the city. The aliens are permitted to live in those levels in exchange for assisting the advancement of the city with their technological knowledge gained whilst previously residing on their own planets. Nice to see the class system is still around then, Carter raised an eyebrow at me. And what do these blood demon donors get out of the relationship? I asked, curious. Healing and detoxification of their own blood. Vampires have many healing properties in their blood and saliva. A blood demon's life can be prolonged for a century or more if he or she is a donor. Not all of us live forever. She smiled. Now, Clara, if I am to agree to take you out into the city and risk the wrath of my closest friend, who trusts me without condition, I want you to tell me how you came to know of and learn a language that has been buried and forgotten in Londinium. It has not been spoken since the end of the 24th century, when the Emperor Clavius took control of the great new cities and lands of the world, defeating the previous empress and council who presided over it. I gulped. It is forbidden to speak it? Yes, the first empress stopped the slaughter of the Onabukun and the other alien refugees, much to the now present emperor's disgust, when he was a council member. Interesting. He wanted revenge for our world's demise. Clavius planned and gathered an army to take control, destroying our new sacred traditions. One of his orders was the banning of the Onabukan language. I don't know how, I just spoke it, and he answered me. What did I say? This is when she spoke it to Darius earlier. Rain put down, I don't know how, I just spoke it, and he answered me. What did I say? Rain put down her coffee cup on her saucer. I do not know, I simply recognized it. I got a sudden feeling she wasn't telling me the truth, but now I had her on site to get out of the city and find the missing girls. I decided not to push the issue. When I tried to connect with her mind and find out silently, I was firmly repelled. I did not dare try it again, but now I knew she really was hiding something from me. Darius does not know the language or what he said either, yet he answered you as if he were fluent in it, she continued. Again, so we've got these angels that connect back to the hidden child, and they have to, remember, they have to stay around them. So there you go, to the different parts of the childhood and the different dimensions. And I haven't worked it out yet, but I'm wondering, because I'm given the story, but I think Darius will be Archangel Michael. Yeah. Carter put down his fork and looked directly at me. Don't you think you should tell her about Darius coming to your room before you even knew who he was? Rain's haunting, beautiful green eyes widened with surprise. I nodded at Carter and told her everything. That's at the beginning. She tapped her long, blood-red nails on the table and gave me a pensive look when I finished. And Darius knows nothing of this? He doesn't seem to remember anything, but when he looked at me before, it was as though something was prodding his memory, and then he seemed to shut it down. What do you think happened? I asked. I'm going to leave it there because we're running out of time. I will read some more in the next one, but you can check it out on Inke. And as I say, it's got a different title. It is actually Dead Sun, Londinium, the Vampire City, but it's called Love in the Vampire City on there. But it's not all gushy love, don't worry. But there's definitely an element of that. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's have a look. Again, we'll go to vampire cards because we're talking about vampires. Oh, I'm going to get one of them first, see what they... Definitely a lot about bloodlines. I mean, when I was writing this, they were dressing up as the characters, giving me scenes, helping me. So it is channel message. Okay. Oh, royalty again. Okay. Time travel. Future. Yeah, well that, no. I want to see, no. S. Sherlock. Victory. A victory in the future. Oh, victory 4. This is what they're worried about as well. Okay. So, going by that story, so they're worried that we will be taken over by something that denies who we really are and blocks the evolution of the human race. This is something that started in the 1940s. 6 hours. Why do we keep getting hours? 6 hours. One more. Call from the future. This is the warning from the future. This is what... there's definitely something about the sun as well. I keep getting stuff about that. So this is from Archangel Uriel. Summer. And the final one. Spreading lies. Who's spreading lies and confusion? An alliance. In the summer. Visible. Guardians. Guardians are trying to make visible again what is being hidden from us. This alliance of... Oh, sorry, my phone was going there. An alliance of beings trying to block us from this evolution. The new tack is to try and get us to see what is there, because this is a big message of what's going to happen. A lot of alien involvement. Okay, let's get a few cards. Scandal. Definitely something of the summer, because I keep getting that song. I should have met you in the summer. Calvin. Oh, I can't remember his name, but that's all I'm getting. 8 of Scepters, messages from other dimensions. A warning from other dimensions. Again, but we've got the 9 of Grails upside down this time. Something being stolen as we speak. Again, that can revert the next one. Chariot, moving forward. Stay on target. Stay with the message. Okay. The Empress. Three of Grails. Bloodlines. Trying to block evolution. Again, it's coming through Lovers. I'm going to try some other cards. Let's try something. Well, these are quite fitting because these cards inspire my stories, and they're going to inspire a next line from the Hidden Child. I'll read you some from the other ones. It's an Asian feel to the other two. There are 5 altogether. One hasn't been written or hasn't been started, but there's some Asian feel and the witch feel too. A lot of witch stuff. The Star. 4 of Swords. Resting. Now, he is Archangel Gabriel for me when I was writing The Hidden Child. Very like him, how I've seen him, how he's presented himself to me. And this was when I was in the house with my ex-husband. So I was amazed when I saw that card. The Star. Something that was put on hold, the rest. A message that had to be put on hold in this story. Why? Please. Because something was being created. something working against it. That's been blocked, held back, stopped. Interference, and they're giving me the card on here that of my cards got weather interference. Strategy, as in when they mean weather interference, storms, blockages, a message for humanity. Now I always see these people in white robes standing waiting to come forward, and they are the 144,000. So it's about the 144,000 somehow. Divine feminine being pushed out. The moon. There. It's the moon that follows them. They've got a blue tinge. I worked out that, is it Saturn has moons like that? And it's to do with the crystals and the shine different colours on the moon. Something, I can't remember. Radiation reflecting. That was it. Direction not known. Message blocked. Not received. Oh, but coming out of prison. Burdens created. The message was blocked and stopped. The warning, the message, the call from the future was blocked and stopped. The call from the past was blocked and stopped. Hermit, a guiding light to stop World War III. Okay, so final card, please. A satellite, a moon. NASA. I'm confused. A swarm of aliens. It's almost like NASA will pick it up first. Remember, it's the aliens that destroy the sun and make it difficult for humanity to live. It wiping out. It's all about wipe out, apocalyptic. That's what has been planned for by a lot of these alliances, and that's what they're trying to show us. And we need to change. We need to start being aware of it. Wait, let's get this the right way. What's happening here? Weather interference. So, games, playing games with us. UK. Angry Angela. The weapon system or conspiracy. CIA, Cold War, something cold, something not investigated, pivot. This is a massive pivot point for us. We are being deceived by reality and the truth. This is a coded message trying to get through. There goes the tap. I was told that somebody was, it's the only medium that's got everything through for me because they won't give information hidden. The message had to be it was code that not even I understood. I had to write the story, the channel message, and it was, even in the romances, this code was put in, and it was a message to people who read it. And I was really pleased that some of the romance stuff actually helped a lot of people with their relationships. I couldn't believe that. It's fantastic to hear. People sent me messages about it. And it was blocked, it was stopped. There was a lot of spell work. And they put it on hold for a while. And now they're bringing it forward again. And it's a code. That's why they've said Morse code. And she told me that way back. Your writing is coming from a deep place, and it's a message, you know, it's coded message that's been put in there. So I hope you enjoy that. Please like, share, subscribe. That'd be fantastic. Support my writing. Check out the links. Everything's there. Services, the works. And thank you very much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.